What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to address something with today's video that I feel is necessary when it pertains to the discourse around Modern Warfare 3. I want to praise Sledgehammer Games for all of the wrongs they are righting with the multiplayer. It seems as if they were the developer that was listening, while every YouTuber, Twitter user, and Reddit poster was being critical towards Modern Warfare 2. They were the ones taking in all of that feedback and applying it to their game, instead of it being Infinity Ward. And I think that we need to be a lot more critical towards the developers at Infinity Ward for just not listening to us, ignoring us for multiple months, almost a full year, without ever addressing the major concerns this community had with their game. It seems as if Modern Warfare 3 was the one that wanted to be the good guy in all of this. And I acknowledge that, and I respect that. It still infuriates me to no end that Modern Warfare 2 had all of this potential, all of this opportunity, and it was wasted by Infinity Ward's laziness. It was wasted by their stubbornness, the fact that they didn't want to change their game, they didn't want to listen to the community and evolve the experience over the course of the year. Yes, they added new content. Yes, they grew the game in some respects, but the player numbers are very clearly shown that this game failed. It was a disappointment. Yes, it sold a ton of copies for sure. But when it comes to maintaining and retaining a strong player base, MW2 did not deliver in the way that Infinity Ward and Activision expected. And I will say that Infinity Ward is 100% to blame here. This is not on the community. This is not on anyone else but themselves. They refused to listen to the feedback that was provided to them from before the beta all the way through the game's life cycle into Season 5. They decided to consistently release lackluster seasonal updates time and time again to deaf ears, to people that just frankly didn't care. They wanted to see more. They wanted to see growth. They wanted to see the game evolve. And unfortunately, Infinity Ward failed us at every single turn. And I think this is the 3 strikes and you're out situation for Infinity Ward. They failed us with Infinite Warfare. They failed us with Modern Warfare 2019. And they most certainly failed us here again in 2022 with Modern Warfare 2. It is unfair that this community was basically playing a beta for the majority of the year. And now it feels as if it's even more of a beta when you look at all of the changes and all of the issues that are being addressed in MW3. It feels as if MW3 is the true love letter to the classic Modern Warfare 2 game that we wanted MW2 in 2022 to be. And unfortunately, because it failed to do that, it failed to capture any of the essence from the original MW2. It failed to capture any of the essence from Modern Warfare 2019. It just failed on all fronts. It's just going to sit there as a major disappointment within this community. A game with all of the potential, all of the opportunity, and a chance to really redeem the Call of Duty franchise. And it failed. And honestly, if MW3 wasn't the one taking in all the feedback, if MW3 wasn't the one applying all these changes to their game, I feel as if all of that negative attention, all of that negative momentum that MW2 had garnered throughout the year would have bled over into MW3. But because MW3 has learned from the mistakes of MW2, and it feels as if they're being proactive with the changes that need to be made to make the game better, we're going to have a pretty decent game. Again, I'm skeptical about MW3's success. I want it to be good, but I can't just fully lend myself to believe it's going to be this great game, that it's going to change the franchise. I want it to. I want it to be the golden child of this era. It would be fantastic. It would give me a ton of hope for the future of Call of Duty. But as it stands right now, I am still fearful that Modern Warfare 3 is going to make some of the same mistakes MW2 did. I gotta say it. I know you guys are probably tired of me saying it, but the UI just needs to improve tenfold. It just needs to be a better UI system. It needs to not be Modern Warfare 2.5. It needs to be its own game. And yes, I have made comments about it being an expansion, which I still believe it is. But I think that it can still be successful. I think it can survive. I think it can stand alone on its own, separate and independent from MW2 if it solves every issue that we were complaining about for the entirety of the year. It's almost like we're getting a redo of MW2 from 2022, and that's what MW3 is going to be. It's going to have a different zombies experience. It has a campaign that's going to bring some finality to the Modern Warfare story, and I think these are all points of recognition for MW3 that it's moving in the right direction for this franchise, and it's taking Call of Duty into a new era, I hope. I hope that we've learned from the mistakes of the last 4 years, and I hope that we're actually going to start delivering more content, trying to build this community instead of just nurture it and bleed it down to the casual fan base. Instead of nickel and diming us at every turn, trying to grow the game organically without just bleeding our wallets dry. Address the issues that plague the game, ensure that the community is strong and that players are able to play without issue. Address problems when they are brought up. Communicate with those who are critical of you. Don't just ignore them. Utilize them as a catalyst for change. Change is good. Criticism is good. That's how you grow. That's how you get better. If no one told me that I was approaching 350 pounds, I probably would never have lost 100 pounds. I never would have been able to do that without the acknowledgement of other people criticizing my decision making. Yes, you should sometimes realize it yourself, but when you're in it, you don't realize that change is needed. And that's what happened with MW2. I feel as if the developers got very cocky, very arrogant, as if they knew how to properly steer the ship that was MW2, and ignored their community and decided not to take that criticism and decided not to take the suggestions and alienate their community in the process. And then you had all the bad will from Activision throughout the year that also didn't help the game at all. And that all culminated into delivering us an experience that was very underwhelming. And as it stands right now, I just don't want to see Modern Warfare 3 fall in the same footsteps. I want them to actively seek out opportunities for growth, opportunities for change, because that's how the game's going to get better. That's how the franchise is going to strengthen instead of continue to weaken. I want Call of Duty to go strong into 2024, into 2025, because this is a franchise I adore. This is a franchise I love to play, and I want to continue to play it. I don't want to see it succumb to the same fate that Halo has succumbed to over the last several years, where it's now essentially a dead franchise. And that's not something that I want for Call of Duty. I want it to continue to be strong. I want it to continue to evolve and grow and innovate and be different. I'm a little sick and tired of the yearly releases, if I'm going to be honest. I'd like to see them release something every 3 to 4 years instead and grow the game organically that way. But I don't think we're going to see that change anytime soon until Activision decides that their yearly release schedule isn't as profitable, isn't as worth it as it used to be. And bleeding out content over the course of several years is more profitable and more beneficial to them as a development studio. So, with all of that being said, I'm happy that MW3 is learning from the mistakes of MW2, but I'm still extremely disappointed in MW2 as a whole, in a game that just never seemed to gain the traction that it probably should have. A game that failed its community every turn, a game that continued to ignore its fan base throughout its life cycle. I will not miss MW2. I really won't. I am hoping that MW3 really learns from all those mistakes that were made over the last year. But anyways, that's my thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys down below in that comment section. So let me know what you think. Was MW2 truly a failure? Is MW3 learning from the mistakes of MW2? Can you really get excited about this game? Or are you just kind of going to wait and see what happens? Because I might be somewhere in the middle there with you guys. So let me know what you think down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.